So Twicetagram part 2 of the album review, moving into track 6, Ding Dong. Of the first part here, the first, because like you already had its own reaction with the music video, so Turtle, Missing You, Wow, and Fast Forward. Wow was my favorite, for sure, like a standout of that first third of the album. So let's move on now to track 6, which is Ding Dong.
Dance on the floor, dance on the floor, dance on the floor. 내 옆자리에 올 때부터는 너는 전부 예상했어. 네가 내 남자친구가 될 거라고 조금은 느끼지만 미묘한 야수처럼 우린 다 어색한 분위기 속에 내 왼손을 잡은 네 오른손이 조금 떨려오는 걸 이 느낌이 좋아. 귓가에 들린 소리 방금 그 소리 혹시 이건 baby 들린 이 종소리 딩딩딩 덩덩덩 사랑이 starting now 보이니 저 불꽃이 팍팍팍 팡팡팡 벌써 나 fall in love 똑같아. 수많은 저 사람들이 배경처럼 다 흐려져 우리 둘뭘 비춰주는 그 spotlight. Dance on the floor, dance on the floor, dance on the floor. Baby now 살짝 부끄러운 이 구두도 신경 쓰이지가 않아. I don't care. 점점 가까워지는 이 순간에 난 어쩔 줄 몰라 해 바보처럼 멈춰버린 시간. 날 바라보는 눈빛 기분이 눈빛 빠질 것만 같대. 들린 이 종소리 딩딩딩 덩덩덩 사랑이 starting now 보이니 저 불꽃이 팍팍팍 팡팡팡 벌써 나 fall in love 똑같아. 수많은 저 사람들이 배경처럼 다 흐려져 우리 둘뭘 비춰주는 그 spotlight. 오늘 밤은 저 날도 더 밝아 보여. 모든 게 다 완벽해 tonight. 기분 좋아 분위기 좋아 어떻게 이것보다 더 좋아. 기분 좋아 분위기 좋아 어떻게 지금보다 더 좋아. 들린 이 종소리 딩딩딩 덩덩덩 사랑이 starting now 보이니 저 불꽃이 팍팍팍 팡팡팡 벌써 나 fall in love 똑같아. 시끄럽던 음악 소리 거짓말처럼 확 줄여져 우리 둘뭘 남겨줘 여기 tonight. 들린 이 종소리 보이니 저 불꽃이 들린 이 종소리 보이니 저 불꽃이
Really fun. Again, lots of really fun rhythms going on here. Definitely in the vocals. Like lots of nice descending lines paired up with ascending lines. Of course, so it's established, right, to get to the sort of like if you want to call it a breakdown or a bridge section or the rap section, where your mix sort of drops out. What I really like about this one is we get all the way down to pretty much just the percussion and the vocal part, right? And it's when the emphasis shifts to rhythm so distinctly, right? Like that's it becomes very intuitive, right? It's not so much about melody or this. It's all based off of the rhythm that becomes the driving element or whatever aspect of the song. But the bass was really fun in this track. This sort of I think I'll call it a pre-chorus section, when a lot of the mix drops out and there's almost like it's a lo-fi like strings sound. I'm not sure. It could be guitar. It could be guitar chords. But there's a bit of a delay on the attack when the chord is hit. The dynamic level is very low, and then it kind of swells in as like, and it's a bit of a lo-fi kind of sound, and it's a really nice, just like this little color change that occurs in between as the verse section is ending and as the sort of chorus section is beginning. It's such an up-tempo song. The beat is very, very quick, so it's moving so fast. So I'll call it a pre-chorus. I think that's right. It's just that it's so brief because of its tempo, right? Because it's moving so fast. It's quite upbeat actually, because the 16th note is something like 1 and a 2 and a 3. Like, I mean, it's super fast. So there's a lot of eighth note subdivisions that are occurring in some of our different rhythms. There's some really, really fun drum fills going on, it's sort of in between the sections, right? To really put an accent on when we shift from one verse into chorus, or however the drum fills are like a excellent little like exclamation mark on these different section phrases. And it's super fun. It's super busy, kind of like WoW was also, but it has a bit of a different sound, and definitely is like some more synth in this one, but also some, what I would say is most likely instrumentation. So it's a healthy mix actually of the different types of sounds, but really definitely a fun song. It's another really fun song, very enjoyable, very engaging, right, with all those different rhythms, with that upbeat tempo and everything. It's a good time. It's a great time actually. Okay, so 24/7, the next track.
매일매일 들리는 두 잔들 일주일을 반복해도 끝이 없는 걸 Everyday yeah 어제와 똑같은 오늘 하루 눈에 그려지는 내일의 나도 이제 I can't deal with it yeah 지긋지긋한 알람 소리가 들리는 똑같은 하루하루가 시작돼 24/7 징징 울려오는 핸드폰에 Everyday 귀찮게 굴러도 Don't worry hey 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 신경 쓰려 하지마 24/7 둥둥 떠오르는 걱정을 또 터뜨려버리는 거야 I know it hey 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 걱정은 하지마 yeah Come on girls get it up Alright 24/7 끝난 것 같아도 반복되는 한숨들 날씨가 맑아도 머리 위엔 먹구름 상관없어 I don't care 이제 그만 no more 시간은 계속 흘러가고 있는걸 하루 종일 답답한 기분에 내가 끌려가 하하호호 딴 웃음소리들 듣기 싫어 나 그만 던져버려 버려 머릿속을 비와 just move on 지긋지긋한 알람 소리가 들리는 똑같은 하루하루가 시작돼 No 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 24/7 징징 울려오는 핸드폰에 Everyday 귀찮게 굴러도 Don't worry hey 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 신경 쓰려 하지마 24/7 둥둥 떠오르는 걱정을 통 터뜨려버리는 거야 I know it hey 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 걱정은 하지마 Yeah Alright girls Get 'em up get 'em up You ready to party 24/7 Here we go Get 'em up Alright Say la 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 더 크게 소리쳐 Say la 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 좀 더 높이 뛰어 널 던져봐 싹 다 던져봐 Get 'em up 24/7 징징 울려오는 핸드폰에 Everyday 귀찮게 굴러도 Don't worry hey 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 신경 쓰려 하지마 24/7 둥둥 떠오르는 걱정을 통 터뜨려버리는 거야 I know it hey 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 걱정은 하지마 지긋지긋한 알람 소리가 들려와 그래도 난 아무게 이젠 좋아 지금은 난 yeah
So this is this is probably my where the vocal really sort of shines. Sounding like a fourth gen group, like this song right here. This sort of minimalist, beginning, right? That in the way the song starts, the first verse when it comes in, really nice. The bass, right, sound. It's a bit of a layering of like a synth bass, probably mostly on your downbeats, and then a lot of the sort of subdivisions, the other beat values. You have rhythms that sound like they are played. I'm sounding like a bass guitar, but somebody's playing pretty high up on the neck, and letting the synth bass really like take up most of the body of the absolute lower end of the range. But the vocal work on it, like pretty much throughout the song, they're not trying to move up into head voice, right? It's a very comfortable sort of pitch for them to sing. There's a bit of a part, I think it's maybe like the way the chorus finishes, or maybe it's around the chorus. It could be at the beginning, could be at the end, but I think they actually do it in two ways. One is sort of like the chest voice. The delivery is kind of at the top end of that, like before you'd have to lose out on some of the body there of what the overall width of the sound that you're making, so that because it narrows as you're getting up into the higher ranges. So it's stopping before that has to happen. Da 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 da. There's a good projection on that. In the beginning, it's there's not so much power behind it, but like it feels very I'm listening to it, I'm like, there's almost like sitting back on it, it's just totally comfortable. There's no strain. Like the dynamic level and the pitch are both in like a sweet spot, right, for what the vocals doing there. And all throughout the whatever that lead voice is, like it comes out in front and it's very strong and it's doing its thing. It's a little like it's a little more relaxed, right? The delivery at the beginning, but it's just, it sounds so good, man. And it's because where the pitch is and where the dynamic of it, like it's super comfortable. Like they're probably really enjoying singing these parts, right? In this song, the vocal has a lot of presence throughout. Like it's fairly up tempo. Like it's one of these songs that feels a little bit more laid back than it actually is. A lot of that minimalist type of like drum and bass part of the mix is doing that, and a little bit of what the vocals doing in the beginning. So it feels a little bit more laid back, but it's actually it's moving kind of quickly. When the rap section comes around is when you can really get a sense of that, because those rhythms are now getting into your like 16th notes and all of that. So when you hear the rap part, that's like, oh, okay, you can really start to count out exactly how quickly this tempo is, right, for the song. This sounds like it could be done by, you know, a 4th gen group. What is it? What am I thinking? I think it's 11, right? That song, it kind of, because of what the drum and the bass is doing. I mean, if you listen to that song 11 and then listen to this song 24/7, like there's a similarity with some of the elements of the mix, right? These different parts, they're using the vocal over what the drum and the bass is doing, and then as it expands and adds more sounds moving into the chorus, right, becomes a little bit stronger. That's when the projected voice starts to come in, right? And then there's also the brief section in there. It's only a couple of measures. It's like a phrase where it's that same type of progression, and the vocal melody is doing the same type of like suspended pitch over it, but it's much more relaxed. And again, it's like a very comfortable vocal delivery. It's like it was probably really enjoyable to record this song. Like, oh man, I really like this I really like this part, man. This is like easy. It sounds great and it's easy to sing. And like I'm very comfortable at where I'm at in terms of my range and all of that. So I really enjoyed the vocal parts on 24/7. I think they're fantastic, and I think this song sounds like something that, you know, a group could do today, and it would work. Like it would absolutely work. Yeah, if I'm if I was a 4th gen in a 4th gen group, and I was a big fan of Twice, I'd be like, dude, let's cover 24/7. Like let's do that song. Like we can definitely pull that off for sure. But it's I was gonna say too, Ding Dong, the track before this, has almost like the energy of an 80s pop song, you know, so yeah, just between the two, right? Ding Dong has a little bit of like a nostalgic sort of throwback energy to it, like something from the 80s. 24/7 sounds like it could be a 4th gen K-pop group for sure. Okay, next track, Look at Me.
날 바라봐 자꾸 보고 싶다고 말하면서 막상 만나면 눈을 안 봐. 왜 보고 싶다고 말은 하면서 막상 앞에서 나를 안 볼까. 왜 도대체 어떤 재미꽃을 줬네. 세상에서 있는데 마음이 더 보이는데 살짝 내가 더 예뻐 보여. 어느 다른 화내지 마 짜증날 것만 같아 나 한 번만 한 번 더 사랑스러운 눈빛으로 날 바라봐줘 보다 추웠다 잠이 꽃을 줄래 가정에서 있는데 마음이 다 보이는데 사뿐사뿐 내가 더 예뻐 보여 오늘따라 멋져 보여 날 바라봐 왜 날 안 봐 날 나 좀 바라봐 얘기해야 하니 내 눈을 봐 시선 돌리지 말고 나를 바라봐줘 honey Look at me, look at me 날 바라봐 나를 바라봐 Look at me, look at me 눈을 바라봐 눈을 바라봐 Look at me, look at me 날 바라봐 나를 바라봐 Look at me, look at me 날 바라봐 너무 아깝잖아 너와 나의 시간이 자꾸 흐르고 있잖아 집에 가는 길에 잠이 들기 전에 대화하게 될 거야 Look at me, look at me, look at me Look at me, look at me 날 바라봐 왜 날 안 봐 날 봐 나 좀 바라봐 얘기해야 하니 내 눈을 봐 시선 돌리지 말고 나를 바라봐줘 honey Look at me, look at me 날 바라봐 나를 바라봐 Look at me, look at me 눈을 바라봐 눈을 바라봐 Look at me, look at me 날 바라봐 나를 바라봐 Look at me, look at me 날 바라봐
So this one, look at me. I know this just because it says it right here at the top, right from the Wikipedia entry. Let's see. Okay, so this was from the Wonder Girls member Hyerim, who wrote and also co-composed the track "Look at Me," and it's super busy, super up tempo, really a lot going on. Like the percussion, like those really incredibly fast, like drum machine type rhythms going on in the hat. Because we're talking like 30-second note, little fills in there. It's so fast, right? And the percussion overall is very punchy. It has that sort of electronic drum punchiness to it. The really like solid intuitive rhythm, right? It's like a 1, 2, and 4, and like it's definitely dance pop oriented. The vocal work on this, now they are definitely reaching up into that head voice range. Like there's a lot of falsettos going on, and just the rap section again. It's like it was where a lot of your it's emphasis on rhythm, right? So the mixed parts drop out a lot of the brighter sort of parts that are more dependent on the harmony of the chord progressions, right? To give plenty of space for the emphasis to shift to the rhythms that are going on in those lines. And it was really fun though that that like very random whistle part that was going on. It was sort of like an ascending like it's like where does that come from? It just sort of comes out of nowhere, right? But definitely a super busy mix. Towards the end you can really I think it also played probably in an earlier chorus section. Once the mix really fills out and starts getting busy, and there's this like really fast super like staccato synth part that you can hear is totally trained onto the 16th note subdivision. It's like a bit of an arpeggiator, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and like it's super fast though. Just to so when you really again like with the rap sections, when you have a part like that in the mix, it becomes really apparent how fast the track is moving. Although with this song, it is not a kind of track that feels more laid back than it actually is. It's all like up front. This is all front loaded. Like you're getting the brightness of the synth parts, you're getting the upbeat tempo, you're getting all of that, right? And it's but it's fun. It's just very, very driving. Like very just man, it's a bit relentless, but it's a blast too at the same time. And it's cool, right? Because if 24/7 to me sounds very fourth gen girl group, and then so this track it actually has a second gen girl group member contributing to it, and for its composition and its just overall, right, adding to the sound of it. And so I guess it does have some of that quality. I need to listen to like more Wonder Girls for sure. Like I for sure need to go back and check out more Wonder Girls and some of the other Miss A and some of those other like second gen groups. But it has the brightness, the shimmery, glittery, upbeat energy of a lot of second gen girl group songs and stuff. That it was definitely in there for sure. But it's great. There's some equally impressive vocal work that's going on here, but it's so melodic. It's like I said, in 24/7 it's a bit more laid back. They're singing really comfortable pitches, really comfortable dynamic levels. Here they have asked their strong soprano voices. We're gonna need that falsetto. We're going to need a lot of that higher end sound for sure, to pull this off. And really comes out in the pre-chorus, and some of the other parts as well. Chorus, a little bit of the verse, but it's definitely a fun song. It's incredibly driving. Just like it doesn't stop. It was cool at the beginning, as the track was coming, sort of building itself up, right, in the sort of intro bars at the beginning. That look at me, it was like super compressed to the point where it sounds like it's underwater or something, and it's sort of muffled. And I heard it, and then I was like, wait a minute. And then I go, it's look at me. That's what they're saying. Look at me. And then, it's the compression starts to lift progressively, slightly, until the actual verse comes in, right at the beginning of the song. But so super busy production in this mix, like a lot of different things going on for sure. Just totally. Again, this is the album, quite a roller coaster ride, It starts off likey, and then sort of goes into this much more laid back track Turtle, and then starts to work its way back up again, and now it's like between Ding Dong and Look at Me, it's very much like a even 24/7, because it actually is moving a lot faster than a sort of intuitive, like it's going up and down and left and right and zooming all around. Like it's a super fun album for sure. Okay, Rollin. So this is one I definitely need to hear. Finally, Rollin. I've heard like little bits and pieces of it here and there, and some clips and stuff, but everybody knows Rollin. So let's check this out. Finally get to hear this, right? Like, let's hear it all the way through.
I can't handle it. 왜 이렇게 말을 안 듣니? 나도 내가 제어가 안 돼. 어릴 때 정답으로 스케이트 같아. 끝까지 감싸인 내 안에 같이 존재하나 봐. 천사와 악마가 자신을 막 컨트롤하나 봐. 아우! 자꾸 이랬다가 저랬다가 헷갈리게. 약속 시간 1시간 전에 취소 통보를 해. 나도 모르게 무섭게 흔들려. 더 심하게 나도 내가 무서워져. 이랬다 저랬다 나도 나를 lose control. 빙글빙글빙글 rolling. 아우! Hey! 흔들 rolling. 빙빙빙 빙글빙글빙글 rolling. Hey! 흔들 rolling. 빙빙빙 빙글빙글빙글 rolling. 나 요즘 살짝 이상해. 떨어지는 낙엽에도 예민해. 네 행동은 너 하나에 밀려졌다 당겨졌다 웃음내. 책을 봐도 답은 있지 않아. 친구에게 말해봤자 놀림이나 받아. SNS는 주는 화풀이. 해시태그는 selfie post rolling. 맨날 좋았다가 삐졌다가 헷갈리게. 강아지 산책시킬 땐 먼저 연락을 해. 나도 모르게 무섭게 흔들려. 더 심하게 나도 내가 무서워져. 이랬다 저랬다 나도 나를 lose control. 빙글빙글빙글 rolling. 아우! Hey! 흔들 rolling. 빙빙빙 빙글빙글빙글 rolling. Hey! 흔들 rolling. 빙빙빙 빙글빙글빙글 rolling. 머릿속이 점점 하얗게 되는 걸. 아직 내 것도 아닌데 널 내 맘대로 질 수 없잖아. 나도 내 맘 잘 몰라. Let it go. 아직은 네가 너무 편해. 나도 모르게 흔들려. 더 심하게 나도 내가 무서워져. 이랬다 저랬다 나도 나를 lose control. 빙글빙글 rolling. 아우! Hey! 흔들 rolling. 빙빙빙 빙글빙글빙글 rolling. Hey! 흔들 rolling. 빙빙빙 빙글빙글빙글 rolling.
Oh man, what a the bass, this is it will instantly sort of relate or remind, in my case, of the Formula of Love album. That type of bass, tracks like Scientist. There's so many songs on that album. The bass is just really fantastic, and like I said already, the bass is super important in a lot of these Twice songs, and this is a great example of that. The bass is it's so present throughout the entire song. It's super fun. As soon as it started, right, I was just like, okay, here we go. I love the way that the build up to the chorus section, starts to go through the different subdivisions. You have like your first 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4, and then it even went like 30-second notes in the percussion part. Like I think at the first go around, right? But everything from the beginning. It's just very rhythm centric. What's interesting, right, is that the bass part in a song like this actually quite melodic. Yeah, when the vocal part is essentially a rap part, like throughout. I mean, not the whole thing, but a lot of it is rap style that's going on in the vocal part. And so the way that the bass is moving in this song is actually quite melodic. Most of the melodic quality is voiced in the bass part. And it's a fantastic sound. Really cool. The sort of bridge part, the when the beat dropped out, and it all the way down to just the vocal, and it was maybe two measures, I think. But so much fun. I love the space that is created, in tracks like this when it's 24/7 had a bit of that same quality too. But and then interesting too when the chorus comes around, binga 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 rolling. A lot of it is I think those pre-chorus bars. As soon as the synth chords start to come in, like there's a long sustained whole note. It's 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 and 4, like, or what it would be and 4 1, I think, is because it's mostly sustained notes, and then it's gonna transition to maybe 3 chords. So you have like 4 chords total, but it's like sustain, 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 and then dun, 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 right? It's a nice sort of rhythmic pattern. Overall minimalist, right? Like the entire structure for sure, but it's fun, and the chorus doesn't lean on vocals. It's much more of an instrumental type of sound that sort of fills out in the chorus. Rhythm, it's it's all rhythm. Where Look at Me, 24/7, those songs, it was like, okay, some really really good vocal work that's being done here. Rollin, definitely the emphasis is on rhythm throughout pretty much the entire mix, right? Like the whole thing. But it's a classic, right? Like it definitely is. It definitely is. It right from the beginning. I was like, oh, okay, I get it. I see what's going on here. But it's that bass. It's definitely the bass part for sure. That's, so if this is the first full-length album, this is almost like a teaser, almost like a Formula of Love. You'll hear this type of bass again. Like, this is gonna come back. It's gonna be a really big thing, like in a little bit down the road. But it just gives so much character to this track for sure. But it's a blast. And this track kind of relates the overall feel of the album being this really fun sort of roller coaster ride, right? Even more so than Twice Coaster, you know what I mean? Those were EPs. So it's just a difference in the overall amount of compositions, the amount of songs and tracks that we have to listen to. So that's why this is a bit more of an adventure, you know what I mean? A bit more of an outing, because it's taking you on a longer trip here. But it's a blast so far. The you know what I mean? The entire album is like, there's some really really good songs on here, as per usual, because it's twice. Okay, final part coming up, last stretch here. I'm gonna come back with Love Line, and then we'll go ahead and finish out the album. Oh man, it's crazy because there's so much work. Like, this is 2 years into the group's discography, their whole body of work, right? We're just a couple years into it. It's a lot. It's a lot of content. It's an incredibly industrious amount of work. You know what I mean? Like it's really is. It's impressive. That in and of itself, just one thing to consider is how good all of these albums and all of these songs are, and the absolute pace, dude. Like the absolute grind of it. Oh, dude, it's super impressive for sure. Okay, so come back with Love Line and go ahead and round out the album.